On March 2, 1988, television audiences had a variety of programs to choose from. In the Bay State, the Massachusetts Secretary of State was certifying a new television station in the town of Bridgewater called BTV Access Corporation.
BTV, I know that they have one of the best studios around. I think that in terms of really linking the community together.
It caught my attention. It was something that sounded very interesting. This particular place has meant a lot to me.
I don't think Bridgewater would be what it is without BTV.
And Bridgewater Television wouldn't be what it is today without its diverse family.
And that's the way it is.
It's the people that come in, they spend the long hours, they stand in the rain. Those are the people we have to say thank you to.
And I feel that us here in Bridgewater have something very unique and special.
For 25 years, BTV, once known as Cable 8, has been a creative outlet, a community forum, an informational gateway.
I never thought I wanted to learn so much.
It's like you're having a conversation with your friends over time, and you can be free and open with what you discourse with.
At BTV, people realized their potential.
I said, okay, I'm going to dive in. So I did.
Found their strengths.
When you work at a cable access station, you can kind of dig into all areas of production.
And zeroed in on their futures.
I found myself hosting all around the world.
I'd say it was a good stepping stone.
This is how it all began.
So BTV started when John Myers, now our board member, signed an agreement with Mass Cablevision, and in that agreement they provided us with a studio and with a station manager, and really set the stage for people to come in, bring in their own ideas and their own shows.
Good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of Trivia Tonight, Bridgewater's live call-in trivia show.
Great thing about BTV and about community access is the word no doesn't exist. If you have something you want to put out, that's great. If you have the mindset, the people at BTV will certainly help you out and you'll have your own project.
A lot of people will assume that they have to be employees or that they have to have a certain interest, and really you don't. You just have to be willing to learn and willing to work with people and give some of your time. 90% of our productions are produced by volunteers in the community.
And it wasn't long before Cable 8 had its first program.
Hi, welcome to Bridgewater Good News and Beyond. My name is Robin Murray.
Bridgewater Television started basically in this church. I met Don Carter and Joe Carreri. They were at a church social. I got interested. The next thing I know, I'm starting to follow them around doing some video. Don Carter, he was pretty much the driving force for Good News.
Hi, Lisa. Yep. Yeah, Don. Yeah. Hey, you know, John was caught sleeping in the chandelier the other day. Yeah. Well, he claimed he's a light sleeper.
People wanted to broadcast. People wanted to be involved as volunteers. They wanted to go out and do interviews. They wanted to produce programs or create programs. They had ideas.
Soon, volunteers and future employees began coming in for multiple reasons.
I started volunteering at BTV when I was over at Bridgewater State. I thought it was a good opportunity to get more experience.
Bridgewater This Week will have a fresh look in the coming weeks with some new features, including regular updates from various clubs and organizations in the town of Bridgewater.
I was looking for something to do that was TV studio stuff mixed with journalism, and this ended up being one of the best places to go to.
As for the future of this former skate park behind me, I'm told it'll be seeded, and the Rec Commission and Town Manager will discuss its further use.
Ray Valdez approached me a million years ago, and somebody was supposed to do I think in fact it was a dedication of the senior center. Somebody was supposed to be with him to do it, and he didn't want to be on camera, and he called me up screaming that I need help right now, because at that point I was working for the Enterprise. And I said, well, okay, but I'm in my garden. Can I come over now? And he says, I need right now, I need you right now.
Do you feel that today when the seniors walked in that it was with a sigh of relief and a lot of happiness?
Yes, and many of them have been working very, very hard behind the scenes.
I had a project that I wanted to do with for my band director that I had known for 5 years. And it involved it was almost like a video montage with music over it, and that was way over, capabilities of the stuff that I had abilities to do. I could just do simple stuff. That's how it all began, and that was in 1992.
Back in 1993, Peter Murray had asked me to come on his show, which was called Sound Off. And I guess I was bitten by the bug.
Many were bitten by the bug, some even going on to become local celebrities.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. In the 1990s, Lisa Battolino and John Myers were the faces of BTV's news program, then called Cable 8 News.
The Cablevision industry's local television awards show was held live on Friday evening. BTV had been nominated in 2 categories, local news and religious programming.
Lucky for us, the local news category was the first award of the night.
I'd like to especially thank all our viewers in Bridgewater who have helped us through these years of Cable 8 News, and especially all the volunteers who have put in inordinate amount of time to try and make it easier for Lisa and I just to sit there behind the prompter and do the news.
I decided, I'm going to go down and try to volunteer, and I came down, and the day I walked in was literally Vicki Traylor was leaving, and it was her last day on the set.
This is my last week as producer of Cable 8 News. With much regret, I have to return to a job that I held for 13 years.
So they needed someone to take her place. And I really had planned to come down maybe to work on the camera or to do some writing or something. And they said, well, we need someone, tomorrow night to do the news. And so I just said, okay, yeah, I can do that.
Little did she know, a whole new volunteer era was about to begin.
The News Weenies.
Oh, the News Weenies. The News Weenies. It was a really great era for us.
We could come in at 6 o'clock and leave at midnight. That would not be unusual. It was never a miserable evening. We would have to sit down for a long time. But
between the stories, the shoots, the retakes.
Right.
When Lisa couldn't get her lines right, so we had, we'd have those. And other than that, when I was always perfect.
The defibrillator is a life-saving device.
On Sunday, the Wheels of Time Auto Club held
Our first announcement. And now it's time. And now it's time for announcements. And now it's time for announcements. The first announcement will be read by John.
In Central Square, Bridgewater, on December 15th at 3 p.m. It will be put on by the American Guild of Organists, featuring Fred Brewer, who will show his organ.
And Jack Boyko was a wonderful coach. He was replaced in a couple of years with Ray Valdez, who was young, energetic. Everyone was learning. The camera, it would be every week someone would be new at what they were doing.
You had a group of people that were responsible to get a product done, and it was a show must go on mentality.
I think we know everything about each other's lives because it would be hours of sitting and chatting while someone learned to work the camera or someone had to rewrite something, whatever the case was.
We had people that were sick, we had people that were tired, but you really learned that, there's responsibility, there's a product, and you have a direct impact of that product at the end of the day.
Every year we do dozens of news stories on Cable 8. 1997 was a very good year. Tonight we're going to bring you several of those stories that we think are important to the community.
I remember producing the news, and I also remember being a news person, saying the news on the air.
I officially joined the news staff as a team with Liz Mora, Dan Riley, and Bill Messina, who became the producer.
I worked with Bill Messina, and he would bring me out and have me do stories, and he would help me produce them and write the scripts and do the interviews, which, you know, in the beginning I was really awful at. But that changed in time, and I got better and more comfortable in front of the camera.
Hey, what's happening?
Oh, nothing. I'm just trying to get a base tan here for the summer.
As time went on, people from the BR music department began coming to the studio to volunteer for the news at night. We're like a big family.
We kind of grew up through the studio.
My first gig was doing the teleprompter back when Eric Montague was here, took me under his wing.
I remember him showing us how to edit, how to use the cameras. He actually sat down and educated us.
We must have had like 15 people volunteering on Thursday nights. Sometimes there would be a thin line between productive and chaotic.
Can't let them have soda before they come on. It's that jolt, it does it to you every time.
It's not the soda.
It's a surge, you know?
It was a good time. The fun we had with the crew here, you know, a lot of our friends that work here with us volunteering. And believe it or not, John and Nick, back in the day, making fun of them and then making fun of us.
That was your favorite? They're going to hate you for this after this. Making fun of John and Nick.
I'm not making fun. That's a fond memory.
Political stick. Don't eat the kitty litter. If you eat the kitty litter.
Where is he anyway?
I don't know where he is.
Oh, well,
Hey,
what do you know?
there he
he
is.
Look at him.
Wow.
Make no record that you saw that, okay? Guys, political stick's over. Hello? Hello?
Nick and John, it was like they were always in the building. I swore they were living in a corner of it somewhere. And I remember them, every time I would be there on a Thursday, they would be there. And John would be chattering away, and Nick would try to get a word in edgewise, and it was like watching a comedy routine.
You know something, Mr. President? I've been meaning to talk to you.
Just the lamp. The lamp was down by the hanging plant.
I like that.
You like the lamp? I might be able to.
I need that for when I'm crocheting.
You need it? You need the lamp?
Yeah.
I'll be able to work a deal with you later on. Okay.
Nick, what are you doing here?
Oh, David, you know what? I was just checking to make sure everything was in place.
25 years of Nick and John, which is frightening thought out there.
I love doing the news. I had a great time with that, hosting the news. We had some fabulous casters on there, so the news was a lot of fun.
Those guys were a blast to work with. They made me feel so comfortable, and you know, there's a lot of joking and banter and teasing going on the set, and it just made it so fun while I would sit in front of that camera and just try to get comfortable being me.
I noticed your clothes clashed this week.
Hey.
Huh? Is it the colors?
I'm insulted.
Is it the colors? I mean, you know.
Does this match? Why don't we have viewers call in?
And find out. We want to know who clashes the most, Vanessa or me. All right.
But what on you clashes?
It's everything. From what I heard, you know, my tie could clash. You know.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
Or it could be my short pants. No one knows I have them on because we got the desk on.
That's right.
All right.
It was a learning experience. You got to learn a lot, but at the same time, have a lot of fun.
I am actually here on behalf of Mary McGuire. I remember her as Mary Reardon. She's Mary McGuire now, but she hates to be on camera because she's a wimp. But we really want to know what she has to say, so I have cloned Mary McGuire Reardon, or Mary Reardon McGuire, successfully, and we are going to talk to her clone. I did a lot of the technical work, and it was a lot of fun. I am going to kill Mark Macrino when I get off of this because he has degraded my reputation.
It was a real pleasure to work here with everybody. Nothing ever went wrong. You know, none of the lights fell out of the ceiling or nothing fell apart.
Things could go wrong really easily. One of the things that does stick out in my mind is the hot chocolate incident. During a taping of the news, all of a sudden, there was screaming and swearing going on from the switcher area. And all I saw was hot chocolate all over. I don't know how long Jim spent cleaning up.
I think the one thing that always amazed me was how passionate everybody felt about what they were doing.
And to be part of, you know, something that gets broadcast, I mean, that's just an incredible thing to say you were part of.
It was a really eye-opening experience. And, you know, like I spent a lot of time hanging out with them because of that, and I learned a lot, and it kind of helped shape me into who I became. I couldn't keep away.
This place has shaped my entire life. I've gone from a volunteer to a staff member. I've worked on community programs to independent films. I've done everything from 3D graphics to animation. This place is amazing.
Over time, Cable 8 News became the flagship program for BTV and later took on the name Bridgewater This Week.
Thank you for watching Bridgewater This Week,
a news program dedicated to keeping the residents of Bridgewater
informed about events in town.
I'm Stephen Fortin.
And I'm Mariella Herarte.
This is the news!
Bridgewater may be a suburban town, but we've definitely had our fair share of stories.
Plane actually went down in a field off of Plain Street.
We had a mechanical failure at the scene.
I called 911 really quick and ran over here to make sure everyone was out.
Bridgewater police are investigating a series of hate crimes that were directed towards 3 neighboring homes on Wednesday morning. We've covered everything from politics.
This week's top story centers on Decision 04.
To rallies.
What do we want? Equality! What do we want now?
And then there's my favorite, the feature stories that really show good people doing positive things for the community that you might not hear about otherwise if it weren't for public access.
Make good bonds with people, great friendships. We've stuck together for years. And it sounds like it was a very successful one at that.
Exactly.
We lucked out because we worked on a lot of things together, so we always had someone to go somewhere with and do projects together, and we worked well together. Can I do that over?
It sounded weird.
I did. I was like, this season's
At the end.
Yeah, I missed
like
it.
scream.
I stopped screaming at that one.
Definitely a lot better to have another set of eyes on what you're working.
It really impacted my life and giving me confidence. Really that confidence to feel great behind the camera and in front of the camera.
With the annual town meeting just weeks away, the board will have some key issues facing them.
This was providing me with real experience, real field experience on being a TV reporter, and I loved it.
We're here with Dan Bucci, and he's the station manager at 91.5 WBIM. What's been great about Bridgewater this week is that it provides, aspiring anchors, videographers, you name it, the ability to produce their own stories. And in turn, we've all produced our own memories as well.
But one of my favorite, memories is not only being on the news, because I love that, but I remember doing an April Fool's piece, and I said, wouldn't it be neat if a flying saucer landed down at Legion Field?
Bill, does the police department have anything to give us for a comment to substantiate the sighting of the UFO down at the town barn? Is there an official position of the Bridgewater Police Department?
I have been informed, Nick, by the International Security Agency that I can neither confirm nor deny the fact that anything there may or may not have happened.
Mark, being an expert on the subject, could you tell us a little bit about this this reported UFO sighting that they've had here in town?
Well, first of all, it couldn't have happened for a number of reasons. First of all, they would have been in contact with me.
I'll never forget reporting on a story of a flasher that was running around campus.
Just Desserts
Was the best one. We went
'Cause
back
they
like
fed
four.
us.
We went back like 4 times.
They gave us treats every time we stopped in.
Yeah.
And now I'm here at Just Desserts, Bridgewater's newest bakery and cafe in downtown Bridgewater.
I think that was the first time I actually
You were like a reporter.
like a reporter.
That was cool doing that.
One of my first shoots was in 2002, actually after the very first Patriots Super Bowl championship. So Jeff and I got to go to City Hall and tape the big festivities there with 1 million people in a little area that fit about 5,000 people. So that was fun. That was definitely one of the most memorable.
Hey, we're world champions! Don't talk to me!
I've had so many memorable moments here at BTV, and it really all stems from the people, the TV family I have here. But specifically, going to Washington, D.C. to win a national award, that was just such a wonderful experience, and it really made me realize what a great team I had working here at BTV.
I had the good fortune to deliver a young girl in the back of the ambulance, and we were featured in a story back then. I think it was Person of the Week or something. Dr. Lisa Battolino was interviewing. She's a good personal friend of mine now. The girl that we happened to deliver in the back of the ambulance, I actually had because she was my daughter's age, when my daughter was born the same year, I got to coach her in basketball for several years, which was fun, so that was kind of unique. But yeah, it's good to get those good stories in. We appreciate that.
And I've always been a supporter of positive news, and I like to see groups and people get covered for things that they're doing that contribute to the community.
Giving back is nothing new for the students of South Brent Academy. The school has raised thousands for the American Heart Association and donated to local food pantries, among other events. Now they're helping out this little guy.
If anyone called with any event, we would cover it. There was nothing that was too small or that we would consider not important. Any event was important, whether it was a Girl Scout graduation or a play in the 3rd grade. So we really got to see all aspects of the community.
Longtime Bridgewater resident Dave Nault has been recognized for his countless volunteer hours and efforts in helping others.
The Bridgewater Youth Center is one of the town's best kept secrets and a favorite of students who take advantage of this friendly atmosphere.
Proclamation for Patrick Charles Harrington. Whereas, in your recognition of your attainment of the most coveted award in scouting, Eagle Scout.
This is my life dream to meet you.
We have the opportunity to preserve and provide for our community because we thought and acted progressively.
The fact that we all work like a team, there's nothing more genuine than someone trying to help you become better, and someone there to be able to lean on and say, hey, I have this cool idea, let's go try it. And you do, and no one questions it. It's not well, what do I get for it? It's just, okay, we want to make this work, and we're going to do it together.
That wraps up this week's edition of the program.
Be sure to join us on our next edition.
I'm Tara Lanizak. I'm Janine Barreyo. Have a great week. Bye.
I think there's so many different things that came out of BTV. As the show was going on, different people came up with different ideas as to, gee, I'd like to do a segment on this, or I'd like to do a segment on that. Bill Messina came up with that idea. Said, you guys talk about movies, you want to come up and do a movie show, and that was pretty much it.
Hey, all you movie buffs out there, I'm Mark Macrina.
And I'm Scott Johnson, and welcome to our first, and hopefully not our last edition of Movie Time here on the Cable 8 News.
I don't even remember how this guy came along. We were looking for a rating system.
It was just random.
I think it was Bill's hat. I think it was his Packers hat, somebody's Packers hat, and we just looked at it and said, yeah, that'll work, because it was either that or like a plant. And so we took the cheese and said, well, all right, if we like it, it's up here. If we don't like it, it's bottom of the cheese.
It made perfect sense to us at the time.
Like the whole cheesehead craze, I had never seen. So, years later, I see my first cheesehead in the airport in Milwaukee, and all I can think of is Mark and Scott and BTV. And
we were always looking for ideas last minute, and we would make toilet paper faces, or we'd have paper cutouts of monsters.
We still have a job to do here. We might as well do
we
it.
better get going.
Yes,
Okay.
we do have a lot of movies to review for you, even though in reality, we shouldn't be talking. But
Or looking like this, as a matter of fact, if you can believe that. We're actually not this ugly. Well, maybe you are, but I'm not. Hi.
And I really like when we had Mark Goddard on. He was our one and only guest star.
We set it up as kind of like a multi-camera shoot, and I feel like we had a chance to become really creative. We took the cameras off the tripods, and we were roving around the studio with him and trying new and different angles and kind of breaking out of the news media kind of shoot that we did. And I think it kind of elevated us all in that day to say, wow, we can get really creative with all of these things in here. We've got all this technology available. I mean, we're a group of high school kids that gets to come in and use this stuff and really kind of push the limits of local television.
The series.
I didn't want to do the series.
Not at all.
The series?
Science fiction, what the heck's that? I didn't know what it was back then.
Popular.
I mean, I knew science fiction was Buck Rogers to me, and funny suits and little spaceships that went. I didn't, those paper mache rocks and things like that. Irwin Allen, who was producing this series called Swiss Family Robinson, they said, "Do you want to do this?" I said, I don't think so. I said, I've been a detective and I've been a cowboy. I don't want to be a, some freak up in space. Thank you. And my agent said, well, listen, he said, Irwin's doing this. They're going to take about 20 days to shoot the pilot. It's the most expensive pilot that's ever been made for television, which it was at the time. He said, just do it. It'll never sell. It's just a pilot, and no one will ever see you. We promise you that.
It really made us feel we had, gone up from toilet paper puppets. Actually, I think that came after. So.
Well, I think we went up and then down again.
We went up from dinosaurs.
Mark Goddard was the top. Thank you, Mark.
It was something we could call our own.
But Movie Time wasn't the only program geared for a younger audience.
Mike Moriello and I did a show with a bunch of high school kids for years. It was called Trivia Tonight. And it was such an amazing thing to see the transformation as when we started. We set up everything, we tested everything, and in the end, they pretty much did the entire thing by themselves.
And we have a special show tonight for you folks at home. This is an all Disney question trivia tonight.
I was very excited when BTV came to town because it offered me another avenue and another way to get the kids involved with the library. So one of the first programs that we did here was a quiz show, which was modeled on the old College Board games. We called it the Know-It-All games.
The joint where the leg and the foot meet is called the ankle. That's correct, the ankle.
We had panels of students from the junior high school, and we had the person who did the timer. She was a junior high school student. Everybody was from the junior high school, rather. And we had people from the community, from different businesses that donated prizes. The kids had a really good time with it. All the questions were taken from reference books at the public library, of course, so it was a really fun show.
Which state has the first presidential primary?
Team B.
Team B. New Hampshire? That's correct.
It really is fun to be a volunteer here and also to watch the shows on TV and to see the young kids grow up and be involved in BTV as children and also as adults.
It's so vital, it's so active, people really want to be involved.
With volunteerism on the rise came an influx of both new programs and segments.
Gentlemen, welcome.
Where only the guys with the most penalty minutes are allowed.
How you doing tonight, Brad?
I'm doing just fine, Mike.
That's just great.
Welcome to the home show.
Our first story takes us where? Our first story takes us to ice fishing in Maine.
We're going to bring you the continuing series of Dart Fever Luck of the Draw 89.
This is a live call-in talk show. The telephone number, which will probably appear in look at that. It's a magic what can happen on television.
We've had quite an interesting array of community programs over the years, from local live election coverage.
The senatorial election is bringing new energy to the Bay State.
To allow the general public to know results, such as in the simple process of the results of the election is so important to get those results out. Sometimes 4 or 5 elections a year. Cable TV has always been there for us.
We've assisted with government programming, selectmen meetings.
Please be assured we will act.
Council meetings, school committee meetings, but it's really the volunteers that have given us the wide range of programming that we have.
There's so many different types of things that you can do here. You can do a variety show, you can do a news show.
Well, now that I'm really hungry, I'm gonna go grab a snack while John tells us what's up with sports.
Talk shows.
At the moment I'm in Irbid in a town called Zahar. It's nearly 20 to 25 kilometers from the borders with Syria. It's rather hard to hear the bombings and the shellings from this point. But
obviously cooking shows, you name it.
This is the moment that we need to have our voice to be heard.
We're here at Bridgewater Raynham High School and we're enjoying some of the practice sessions.
For Animal Spot, up with the tubers. Thank you for watching this edition of New England Vacations. I'm your host, Alicia Fortin.
Thanks, Alicia. Right now we're down waiting for the parade. And actually, Megan and I have been waiting for a while, so we bought some poppers that we can show you how to use. You don't want to hold them to your face, though. Like that, big surprise.
Welcome to Decision 2013 Bridgewater.
It's great to be here. I really appreciate being on your show and look forward to talking with you.
I can tell you without any hesitation that the most exciting job that I've had is
actually managing municipalities.
How does your facility and your services overlap with that facility, and how does it differ?
And we do have a very big takeout business, so if you can't come in, at least take some of us home with you.
That's a very good line.
We've had, of course, Dave Nault, very famous for his motorcycle show.
In the late 1990s, myself and Officer Jack Hobson, who has since retired, we used to have a cable program, obviously on BTV. It was entitled The Police Report, and we thought that was a great way to communicate or be able to get some message out from the police department and develop that connection with many of the people that we may not deal with on a regular basis.
Every Sunday we have a number of volunteers that go into the churches and tape the services for those people that wouldn't be able to get to them otherwise. I know Paul Holmes has been taping services at Central Square Church basically since BTV started.
The tapes go out to the homes, they go to shut-ins, people at nursing homes. That's how it all started, was with Reverend Nickerson. I would do the services and he would lead them at the different nursing homes that he visited along the way. And that just kind of snowballed into it, and then I'd hear people say, gee, I appreciate what you did. So it's been just kind of plugging along Sunday after Sunday.
Brothers and sisters, if you lift your net and it is empty, come here.
As the new people came along and younger people came along, I did other things like political shtick, where I could get off the anchor desk and just do a show and be opinionated and say my own piece.
That's the thing you don't know, folks, is what's going on. So keep your eyes and ears to the ground, or especially around Town Hall.
Along the way, people began to get their message out with sets as simple as a kitchen table.
Around the Table started after a town meeting that was rather contentious. It was a town meeting, special town meeting, and people came out and were quite rancorous about the smoking ban that the town had passed. And I think it was Marilee and Greg Lee and Jim Moore just said, how do we better model civil communications and civil conversations, discourse.
And we do need a long-term viable plan, because flying by the seat of our pants is eventually going to catch up with us.
Could you explain that a little bit, Mike, the out of balance? Because I thought we had to present a balanced budget.
Some volunteers found studios right in their own backyard.
Somebody thought that the public ought to know a little bit more about gardening and things that they would do in their yard. And that's what we focused on, is things that everybody would do in their own yard.
Hello, cable viewers. I hope you haven't closed the shed door and put the tools away, because I'm sure there are still a few chores to be done before Old Man Winter sets in.
That was BTV's early years, and a lot has happened since then.
A lot of BTV's strength lies within its devoted board of directors.
Bridgewater is very fortunate that they have board members who are experienced, who understand the production side of it. They also understand the management side of it. That pretty much is a testimony as to how BTV is what it is. I think you really have to look at our board of directors and the stability that they've had over the years.
I was always interested in the aspect of public TV. After I was finished with my term as a Board of Selectmen, I volunteered to come down here and actually ran for the Board of Directors.
First ones to get a hat will be me. Thank you very much.
John Myers and myself have been here since pretty much the beginning.
Can we give the wheel of prizes a mighty spin?
No, not too mighty.
Not too mighty.
It was kind of interesting, something to do. And a friend of mine came down here, and I came down with him, and I never left.
A long time ago, a friend of mine invited me to a cable access show in Norwood. His name was Charles Lacquadera. And he was doing a show called His Mother's on the Roof. And so he invited me to come and be part of the audience. And when I went in, all the camera operators were young kids. And some of them were like little kids. And I could see up into the control room and see the young kids, and I said, this cable access thing is kind of interesting. So that's what planted the seed.
I was here at the right time, I guess. I was editing or something, and they needed somebody. No, they just needed another point of view, more of a creative point of view than a technical.
During my tenure here, they did achieve the nonprofit status, which has been a big benefit to them.
I think it's a good idea that BTV is an independent entity within the structure of the town governance and the community. That way it can be balanced.
The board of directors pretty much became autonomous many years ago. We cut all of our ties with the cable company, other than our funding, and the board of directors have been run entirely by volunteers the whole time.
I think we have a statement to make. I think we can help people in the community. It is the community's television.
You look at the volunteer efforts in town. You look at some of the extra steps that are taken throughout the course of the year.
The volunteers are the only reason that we do this. We made the decision early on, even before I was on the board, that volunteers needed access to the building. You know, we let our volunteers take out equipment. We let our volunteers produce their shows. You know, a lot of places don't do that, and by doing it, you know, we really give them the chance to take ownership in what they're doing.
So as the volunteer base grew, the board of directors realized that another change was needed, and now we have this great facility that we have today.
We were really packed in there, and we had to do so much with so little, and it was all about the people.
The one that we were in before was about this big, very tiny.
We had a small studio across the parking lot, but we had a very aggressive group of volunteers that were able to maximize essentially every ounce of space we had in the building.
They realized what they wanted, how to improve things, or what the limitations of the other facility was.
It was always my desire to be in a town building that belonged to the town, and worked out very well. We moved all of, 50 feet? But I moved about 20 years into the future.
So to be able to move into a studio that could accommodate multiple edit suites and just the huge soundstage in general, and we could have new backdrops and just an actual place to have an office for someone or a kitchen, it was really amazing. And I think so many different doors got unlocked when that new station was made.
Walking in here every day during the reconstruction of this place allowed me to make a transition from the small cramped studio we had across the way into this new facility. That was one long continuous moment for me, moving into a facility which would support all of the different activities that we had, from the auction to debates to the news program.
For those of you who turn on the television and watch our program, it may seem very simple. However, a lot of hard work and dedication is necessary to put the news together.
All of that stuff could happen much more effectively in this space, and it's given the town a lot of good programming on the channel.
They were a professional organization before, when they were working with little to nothing, and they thought they had a lot. But now, given what what the studio and what the team looks like now, it's just it's incredible.
They've come a long way, this facility, and the people that are in here now are generations ahead of where they were when I arrived on the scene.
I think video is always going to be here because there's always going to be limitations with the stuff that comes directly into your house. You can only watch them at specific times, even if they have 500 channels to offer to you. If all of a sudden you have to stop it in the middle, phone call, an emergency happens, whatever, you can't pause pay-per-view.
Thanks to the board of directors, the BTV community flourished with its state-of-the-art facility and top-of-the-line equipment.
I'm so thrilled that you're online now and that you have your videos on demand, and so I missed that when I worked in Boston because I couldn't get home always for the news spots, and we didn't have on-demand TV then so that we could tape it. So I love watching how Cable 9, used to be Cable 8 way back when, has come into this modern age and made it really easy for all the citizens to access.
One of the things that I'm very happy about is the continual upgrading of the technology, which is absolutely necessary to make anything work well.
And I was involved with BTV before we had a teleprompter, so it was pretty basic back then.
It's amazing how hard it is to read something
I forget what
when it's written and spelled out for you.
And we're going to take a quick break from area holiday happenings to acknowledge two Bridgewater officers. Lieutenant Thomas Schlats
Here are some of the foolish other offenses that could result in a fine. Oh, did I say that?
And the police department saw a shift in command as George Gurley retired as fire. Oh, jeez.
Wow, that's a real shift.
Wow.
BR Superintendent Jacqueline Forbes plans to present her preliminary.
Now we have to go. Now we have to.
That'll be 4 mess-ups.
Yeah.
None.
You had one.
4.
You had one.
None.
No, you had like 3, Jeff, so.
5. 1.
I feel like I'm dealing with a 4-year-old.
Have you
Sorry.
forgotten
I'm
how
sorry.
to do this, Nick?
No,
Have
God.
you forgotten how many times has
Hit me.
old age set in?
Lieutenant Thomas Slatch and
Schlats. It's not. Schlats.
Can we just like change it on the teleprompter?
When we came in, it was this huge group of all these, freshmen and sophomores. A lot of them hadn't touched anything higher end of a camera than their mom's, old VHS recorder. We learned simple facts that, simple skills that we didn't really think about. Like, when you walk in to do a production, you have an idea in your head, and you want to go right into the action, the very exciting parts. You have no idea what pre-production is. You have no idea that you have to sit there and actually write out scripts and write out screenplays and schedule locations, and the simplest thing of making sure your actors have the same costume on day 3 that they had on day 4.
As you get older, you constantly want to learn. And this place totally supports the learning aspect of, the technology coming up.
We all try and improve on what we do, and every time I do a shoot, I try and do better than the last one.
Church services at Central Square have been taped for a long time. We were the first to step up to high 8 on a weekly basis. At the time, doesn't sound like much now, but it was a big deal, much better picture. We were the first to go digital. In fact, the board members kind of call this Studio C.
Technology has always been state of the art, and it's really given us the upper hand when it comes to making us a learning facility. And the partnerships that we've made, our volunteers have made over the years, have even made more of a difference in what we can do.
Any successful media will have a strong partnership with public safety. To be able to have a strong working relationship with our various chiefs.
Welcome back, I'm Rod Walsh.
This gives the fire department an opportunity to really show the community what we have, what we do.
We have this called the CPAP, which is new to our protocols. We just got it in the last few months. It's almost like an oxygen mask, but it's pressurized. In CHF, the lungs are filled with fluid. When we put the pressurized mask on the patient, it forces the fluid out of the lungs, which allows the heart to beat the way it's supposed to.
We've always tried to make ourselves available, and I think BTV has always gone the extra mile to make sure that you are helpful to us in getting those messages out. Sometimes they were on an emergency basis, sometimes it was more on an informational basis.
This week's segment, we're asking for your help when it comes to numbering your houses. Sounds like a small issue, but for us in public safety, police and fire, it's a very big deal.
We've had some stories of storm events and different things where we can update people and, give them the information they need to keep themselves safe. So.
The latest increase in man-made and natural disasters around the world have affected millions of people. It's more important than ever to be prepared for the unexpected.
I was very proud as a member of the Bridgewater Fire Department to be able to go out to Springfield and help out the residents of Springfield.
We're very fortunate. We're one of those communities that's very fortunate to have cable access that we do to the degree that we do. The level of professionalism, the comprehensive ability of everybody that has worked there, not only today but through the years, has been so important for this community that we take it for granted. We often overlook how important a role it's played through the years.
The Citizens Police Academy program itself was originally started by Sergeant Tom Schlatz. The program kind of brings many people from the community a little bit closer. We get to understand other people's perspectives, and likewise they get to understand what it is that we do and how we do it and why we do it.
We actually did an impact where we actually had the camera in the back of the ambulance responding to the east side of the community, and we showed the clock with the response time. And I can remember people at town meetings saying, I can't believe how long it took for us to get there. I think at the time it was like a 10-minute response time, and that's when the MBTA came in and basically cut the town in half, because when Plymouth Street Gate and Broad Street Gate goes down, we can't get to the east side of the community. That's why that station was built over there, and to have the ability to do that, with the help of Jerry Chipman at the time, former Board of Selectmen member, some key players, we showed that at the town meeting, and it was really helped us get the new police station, the highway department, the fire station all in one. So that was very important. I don't think we could have got that without the help of BTV. It's important for the people to realize where their tax dollars go, and the money's well spent.
Today is a very significant day for the town of Bridgewater and the town of Bridgewater Fire Department. The last construction that was done in the community was pre-Civil War.
I've been involved in town government for almost 20 years now, and from when public access TV would cover town meetings, to the school committee meetings, to selectmen and town council meetings, they've really been able to give the voters of the town a lot of information to make the best choices for them and for the town.
You don't run an election of this magnitude without an incredible staff.
With all the problems going on in the government nowadays, with people complaining about jobs, complaining about schools, complaining about funding, well, you want to really know what's going on with that, this is the best place to find out, because you got to find out who's making the decisions. If it wasn't for this, I wouldn't be able to watch to see who's this guy making this decision on my son's school.
You should keep art because for people that don't have paper, markers, pencils, or crayons, or colored pencils.
It allows the word of the town to get out to the residents of the town. Various meetings, obviously the Board of Selectmen in its day, and other matters of interest coming out of the senior center, whether it was 1,047-foot tower or a regional landfill or anything else, the residents could see it live.
I've been a pretty involved citizen, and I've been involved in some acrimonious issues, particularly the non-smoking issue, which goes back to probably around 2000, 2001.
I believe that your board has a mandate to preserve and protect the public health. At least that's my impression of what a Board of Health is supposed to do.
We have a long history of debates on BTV, giving folks a chance to look at candidates side by side.
Not that Bridgewater has ever seen any political turmoil, of course, and I know that that's very rare.
We don't have the sufficient revenue to run the town of Bridgewater, period.
What are you doing, really? Yes. Can you sit down and respect the man?
Controversy is a great thing, and it stimulates people, and I think it's a great thing. It brings people from Bridgewater really together.
We've got a very active sports team that went on and produced, followed athletes from Bridgewater right up through the college rankings to, we've done semi-pro, we've done professional sports.
Dennis Ray Boyd, better known as Oil Can, is back in professional baseball.
You know, it don't say the Boston Red Sox, it says the Brockton Rocks, but I love it just as much, and I really do. I appreciate it and the opportunity that was given to me to come and make this ball team. The report that I've got in the city and the people saying, hey, we would love to have you here.
Many Wicked Big Pats fans lined the sidewalk of Prisco's Market and Deli as fans and BR Trojan players welcomed number 22 from the New England Patriots, Stephen Redley.
You know, we've been to Gillette Stadium for football games, BU for football games.
Conley sprints out to his right. Sends it long. Harrington's got it. Neil Harrington.
While we've done Division II NCAA tournaments, it was great doing tournaments that CBS actually picked up. All right, thank you very much, Pat. We are getting ready for the first round matchup of the D3 National Championship.
Doing the Little East Conference games for the NCAA, just because it's something completely different than what you would do for a cable access station.
It's a team effort. You know, there's a lot of guys contributing.
I got a little bit more involved because of my interest in sports, and always felt that there should be a little more balanced coverage in the sporting scene, because typically the sports that are covered are the big name sports, the football teams, the basketball teams, and I always felt kind of bad about the kids who were wrestling and playing hockey, playing soccer, playing volleyball.
And how do you feel about your bar routine?
That was a good bar routine for me. That was my highest score so far, too.
I've coached baseball for a number of years, and on various occasions, Nick Sylvia or Skip Crossman would come down with a TV camera and broadcast a Legion game for us and whatnot.
The team is currently in first place and begin their playoff run on Tuesday.
I've been the producer and director of the auction for, I think, 20 years. Fundraising for eye research for the Lions, and the Lions are fun people to work with.
I don't
don't see any red lights.
We've raised almost $200,000 for eye research over this period of time. We've actually gone to other towns to teach them how to do the exact same thing.
I guess that's a wrap for our show. Thank you, everybody.
You have the ability of nonprofit groups in the community to raise funds. You have the ability of groups in the community to raise awareness, to get messages out, for the political discourse to be framed in a hopefully a positive way.
Bogus! Where are you, Governor Romney? Where are you?
When I first came to Bridgewater as part of the administrative team, two people I met right away were Alicia Fortin and Jeff Fowler, who just reached out to the schools and asked what can we do to help promote a really positive image of our schools. And just dove right in and really helped us through some big projects.
Together we can beat bullying.
What I love about BTV, it looks for the positive things.
We love to read!
And I think really it helps when you bring cable into the schools, when you bring cable into the community, for the whole community to feel a sense of oneness.
Well, you know, we've involved the college, now university, with a lot of students there coming in.
Hey BTV, Jana here. We're at Bridgewater State University campus, just looking to get the reactions of a couple of the students.
It's a great relationship, and I know that there are a lot of students who work at BTV as interns and get a lot of practical experience and then go and get jobs in other places, and that's what it's all about here. You know, we're here to help our students to learn, and if there's any way that they can do that within the community, it's just a great relationship.
I gotta tell you, it's an inspiring story, and what you're doing is just phenomenal.
There's a lot that this offers. It's not the only place that the students go, but it is a very good place, and they come back with a very high regard for the work that goes on here.
Vanessa, look at this guy.
Hey, it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Hey, Kareem. Can we talk to you for a second?
We only have one class really using the studio at Bridgewater, so like being able to be in here every week, doing the news, like sitting an anchor or behind a camera or at the console helped a lot, and definitely just the freedom that you guys gave us and just your trust in us to choose the right story.
Working with the camera, learning how to edit, and that aspect of it is pretty much where my niche is going, if you would say. And that's where I want to keep my journey.
It's a great opportunity for students to work with BTV and in this realm here with broadcasting athletic events.
It's a stepping stone. Honestly, it's a public access. It enables people that have ideas to get their ideas out to the public. That's what's great about this country is you have an idea, you have the right to chase it. You know, you have a dream, that's what you should go after. I mean, there's so many kids that have come in here with these dreams, and public access has given them the opportunity, and they're now very, very successful. You know, working as directors, on-stage personalities, models, things of that nature, that they got their start here.
It really also helped me break into pageantry, giving me that confidence to become Miss Massachusetts USA 2005. So there are many doors that BTV really helped open for me.
I have reached so many goals. I have fulfilled one of my dreams, which is moving to California. And I get to work on movie sets all the time. I stand in for so many amazing celebrities, and I get to interview people, and I got to go to the Night of 100 Stars party last year for the Oscars and do interviews on their carpet, and that was huge for me.
I think working at BTV was important to my professional growth. Now I'm in insurance, but you're always using your communication skills, you're always using public speaking skills. So that and just working on a team, you're rushing to meet deadlines all the time. So getting into that atmosphere definitely wasn't a bad thing to prepare you for any career down the road.
It all started for me at BTV, and it provided me with this beautiful sense of confidence. When I was about 22, I took my resume tape, which I made through Bridgewater Cable 8, and zigzagged my way down the eastern seaboard of the United States and looked for a job as a TV reporter. So about a year after I began my search, I finally got my first job offer, and believe it or not, I did not take it.
So whether people come here to volunteer or pursue a passion or a hobby, really they're taking part in our mission, which is informing the public. And without them, we wouldn't have the viewers, and without viewers, we just wouldn't be here today.
Tune in, stay tuned, so that you stay informed.
I have been thrilled to be a part of it. I still am, obviously, and will continue. So, you know, it's a great thing. It's done wonders for the town. It's done wonders for the community.
I like everything, and I like Nancy too, because she's very great.
I think having the access to watch shows or not watch the shows or participate really rounds out the community.
But look at this picture.
One of the things that I always found so neat about this place is you got people involved in the community in so many different ways. I mean, we were at so many different events, doing so many different shoots. I mean, I don't think I would have been exposed to selectmen meetings, town meetings, the different concerts that we were at, and the different, you know, the festivals that happened around town. And it really brought together kind of a sense of community that you want to have in a town.
Everybody that has come through here, I think, you learn something from whoever else came through, and that hopefully they learn something from you, but you still become a family, a TV family.
It could be worse.
My daughter volunteered at BTV when she was in 8th grade.
Hi, my name is Courtney Buell, and I recently entered the WBZ Harry Potter Junior Reporter Contest.
She got the most wonderful, free education anybody could have gotten at that age. She met some wonderful mentors that she's still friends with.
Jim is still my mentor. He's taught me everything here at the studio. He's a lifelong friend.
I love working for a place that allows people to pursue their passions or their hobbies. Me personally, it's been really just an inspirational journey. I've made amazing friends, wonderful mentors, and just a whole lot of memories.
Good memories, funny memories.
Speaking of names, I still don't know your name.
Oh, yes. I finally got a name. It is Gunther.
Gunther. Oh, you're Hethel. Let me just hold on here. Let me just get your.
Way too excited.
Okay,
You'll never know where I found my name.
Where did you find it?
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. Dude, I love Wikipedia.
They have everything there.
Some of my most memorable moments here at BTV were just all the bloopers from any episode of the news that Joe Studley and I.
We used to have a whiteboard with a countdown of how many bloopers we had and everybody's names on them.
Jeff Fowler backed the truck into a state university.
Now the truck is now stuck in between the building.
One of my other biggest memories from there was doing the 48-hour film festival. And pretty much every volunteer from BTV at the time, we all got together and we did the 48-hour film festival. And it was just amazing how we all worked together to pull out such a really good piece of work, I think. Especially for it being all of our first times working on any sort of short feature. I was just really happy and proud to be a part of that team for that.
Some of my more memorable moments, particularly when we did Police Repose with Jack, but I also was able to bring my canine partner at the time, and I have a lot of fond memories where not only were we able to do the program and try to, you know, explain to people what we do and talk about current issues and things that they may want to know about and be able to provide that information, but I was also able to bring my dog.
I love what I do here. I love doing all the shoots that we do, and you know, something of a hobby to me, really.
You know, and I think that the other thing that BTV taught me was that not all local news is bad news. It's not always about, you know, the crime and the shootings and the fires and the political scandal. It's about our communities. So it's valuable and special, and I'm grateful for it, for what they produce on television and also for what they've produced in me.
Because it's a volunteer experience, there's really no pressure. You can't make a mistake as long as you're giving back, as long as you're sharing the information or sharing a job. There's really no pressure, and it's just a marvelous experience and a really a good way to contribute to the community.
As for the future,
hopefully we can continue to go on and serve the community with interesting stories and the things that we do to inform the community about what's going on.
When you leave something, the most you can hope for is that the place is going to continue to go. Not necessarily where you want it to go or where you'd like it to go, but it's going to continue to grow and thrive. And this place has. I feel like a happy grandparent.
If I didn't have BTV to help me set the groundwork for being professional, being able to go out and conduct interviews and learning really what to ask and all of that. I mean, let's be honest, I'm a people person, I'm a talker, and that's what I do, but BTV just refined me.
It's a tremendous facility. The community has access to just an amazing amount of technology, and that's what we're here for. It is community access, and that's exactly what it means. So, I just hope we're able to continue to connect with the community. I hope we're continuing to, build partnerships in town.
I just hope that BTV can continue to do what it's doing and add to what it's doing and continue to make sure that all the major governmental events get covered and continue to support all of the community endeavors.
It's a very rare quality that people volunteering would have that kind of passion, and 25 years worth of passion is still there.
I think that they've done a great service to the town. They have brought things to the forefront. You can see what's going on as well as hear about what's going on, and it's been great for all of us.
They've just done a really, really nice job of doing a fully encompassing service to anybody, in the Bridgewater areas, and we all should be grateful for that.
Go team, Cable 9, you're doing a great job. We could go through and name all the folks down at the station, but I'm afraid we'd miss some, so we'll just say to all of you, you do a great job, and we really appreciate it, and we hope that we can be here to support you as you support our community.
You have made a difference. You made a difference to the town. That's why people keep watching us, and all I can say again is thank you. Happy 25th anniversary, BTV.
Are we starting?
Yep.
Sorry. Focus. There's a point where I didn't even know. Should I start over again? Is it okay that your iPhone is ringing during my interview? Shall we hit stop, Mr. Spielberg over here?
Glad you get the good cameraman, Alicia. Boy, glad you get the top-notch guy.
How did you even get this job?
He's been around as long as the studio's been around, almost, for crying out loud. And he hasn't gotten any better. Neither have I.
But I love you all, and happy 25 years of excellence, BTV Channel 8 or 9.
Hopefully I'm around for 25 more years. No, let me try to have again.
That's going at the end.
It's a happy birthday. Happy 25th.
At the same time.
Oh, that's challenging.
1, 2, 3. Happy 25th anniversary, BTV.
Happy 25th birthday, BTV.
We love you.
Happy 25th anniversary, BTV.
Happy 25th anniversary, BTV. No matter what, you will still be older than this guy.
Oh yeah, happy 25th anniversary to BTV, especially everyone here that I've worked with, everyone that came before me, those who come after me.
Hope you get another 25, and I hope more people take advantage of what a great service you offer.
And may we have many, many more 25th anniversaries.
Happy 25th anniversary, BTV.
I don't know if you earn it. But...
Whatever. There you go.